If you've never played through Pokemon Platinum and wondered how much money could I possibly make in this game, then you might be a communist. Even if you've never wondered this though, you're about to find out the answer in this video. For this challenge, there's only two rules. One, I can only make moves that are profitable, and two, if there's an infinite source of money, I can only use it once.
Who else really trying to mess with Hollywood Code?
Without further ado, let's get started. I boot up a copy of the game and I pick the girl character because she looks cooler. I name myself Nicole and my rival OJ. In literally the second line of dialogue in the whole game, we see that OJ already understands the challenge at hand. On booting up the game, we start with $3,000. Not bad, but we're going to be growing that very soon. For my starter, I'm going to go with Piplup, and here's how the first battle went. So I had to reset and try again because at the end of a Pokemon battle, the loser pays the winner a certain amount of money. In this game, the luck you get is determined by the frame you start something, so if I reset right before this battle, then Turtwig will use the same exact moves, and I can play around it better this time. I barely win, which gets me my first paycheck of the run, $500. The first thing we're going to do is pick up every item we can find in this first area. There's items in Pokeballs on the ground and some hidden items that are invisible, and you need to hit A on the tile that the item is on to pick it up. Also, some NPCs will give you items, so we're going to talk to all of them. We can sell items at the Pokemart, bringing our balance up. When you sell an item, they will generally give you half of its value that you would buy it for. Since these items are for free, this is pure profit for us. But this also means that throughout the run, we won't actually be able to buy any items to use because that is not profitable. Once we enter the route, the professor's assistant will give us 5 Pokeballs to catch things with. Now we could sell all of these now, but we're actually going to need more than one Pokemon to make it through the game, so I pick up a Bidoof and a Starly that will be profitable later. After making sure to defeat every trainer on the route and picking up an item, we make it to Jubilife City. In Jubilife, we do a few battles and get a bunch of items, including a Stardust, which is going to sell for $1,000 just by itself. There's a route connected to Jubilife that has a few optional trainers, and we're actually going to avoid all of these guys. I'll explain why later, but we're going to avoid optional trainers for now if we can come back and fight them later. Anyways, all of these activities bring our net worth up to $8,000. We then head to Ouroboros City, making sure to avoid all the trainers and getting Rock Smash, and we teach that to Bidoof. In Ouroboros, there's a ton more items that we make sure to pick up. Now for the first gym. I have Piplup's water type moves, which are good for this, but since I've been avoiding every trainer, I'm a little underleveled and I head back to the mines to do some grinding until I'm at level 13. Even at level 13, it takes me 2 tries to win the battle. I had to switch out and get a crit with Bubble to kill the Craniados. At this point, my net worth is now into the 5-figure range, crossing $10,000. After getting my first badge, I can now use the hidden move Rock Smash outside of battle to destroy these rocks on the map. By doing this, I gain access to new areas and items such as the TM for Rock Tomb in this cave up here. Keep this in mind, we're going to be backtracking when we get more HM moves. I'm still avoiding optional trainers, and this is where it starts getting difficult. In Pokemon games, the optional trainers spin around or move randomly, and if they see you, you have to battle them. Since by the rules of this challenge, we have to remain profitable, and I'll explain later why avoiding these spinners is profitable, we have to not hit any of them. Since I suck at this, I'm going to use a tool that comes with the emulator I'm playing on, which is called save states. Allow me to explain what those are. Say you only have one Ultra Ball and you want to catch a Giratina. What do you normally do? Since the RNG seed is decided before the battle in this case, you're going to want to save and then reset until you get the Giratina in the first Ultra Ball. But what if you could save at any frame you wanted to? Now we're going to save before we throw each Ultra Ball, and if we don't catch it, we're just going to reset back to that frame. We're mostly just going to be using this to save time because that's not really the point of the challenge. In Pokemon games, there are these little plants with berries on them that you can pick to have your Pokemon hold. Since we can sell these for money, we're going to have to pick every single one of them in the region. If we go into this building here, there's a woman you can talk to. She will give you a random berry every single day. Therefore, we have encountered our first infinite source of money. Technically, you can get infinite money by just coming back to this lady every single day and then selling the berries. Since berries sell for only $10, it would take 100,000 days to become a millionaire from this woman, which is almost 300 years, but technically you can become a millionaire in Pokemon with just one gym badge. As I said in the beginning of this video, if we find something infinite, we're only going to use it once, so I'm just going to get $10. After running a train through Team Galactic, we finally get to the dreaded Route 205. In order to get all the items in the route, I have to avoid 5 spinning trainers, some of them simultaneously. This was awful, even with the save states. After this, we get to Eterna Forest, and I think it's time for a little montage.
They tryna be cracked, yeah, they tryna be cracked, yeah, she wanted me cut it, that bitch is a baby, I'm fucking house, I'm 730, in a pet like Kid Cudi, I smoke dope like Kid Cudi, shop and get the slugs from me, I'm with all this shit, yeah, she wanted me cut it, that bitch is a baby, I'm fucking house, I'm 730, in a pet like Kid Cudi, I smoke dope like Kid Cudi, shop bitch is a baby.
After all this, we arrive in Eterna City, where we go to the Pokemart and see that we've reached $30,000. In Eterna City, we grab some items and the Explorer Kit, which gives us access to another infinite source of money, the Underground. Per the rules, we're going to use this once to dig up some stuff. I managed to find a heart scale and some rocks. After barely beating the gym leader and Commander Jupiter, I can now use the HM for cut, which means we're going to grab some items. I don't want to backtrack too far yet, so I'm just going to go back to Eterna Forest, where I can now access the old chateau and an outside section of Eterna Forest. Just to give you an idea of how annoying this is, the items I had to pick up just in this section are Insect Plate, Ether, a bunch of berries, Silver Powder, TM82, Honey, Rare Candy, Big Pearl, Old Gâteau, TM90, and the Dread Plate. After this, I get the bicycle, which is really hard to control in 2x speed, so I slow my emulator down to normal speed for the cycling road, for which I have to avoid all of these trainers on bikes. I then go beneath the cycling road to this route with very annoyingly placed items, and Wayward Cave is also here, but we'll come back to that later when we have more HMs. The professor's assistant gives me the dowsing machine, which will help me find hidden items faster, and I brutally struggle through passing all of these spinners onto Hearthome City, where I will challenge the 3rd gym. Upon arrival, I'm going to hit the Pokemart to get some cash in exchange for all the items I just picked up, and we hit a comfortable net worth of over $70,000. Before I hit the 3rd gym, there's something very important we're going to do. If you have a cute Pokemon with you, you may enter Amity Square to take a stroll with that Pokemon. There are buildings here that warp you around, and more importantly, there are items. One item in particular that is literally the centerpiece to the entire run. If you've played Pokemon before, you probably saw this coming. That item is the amulet coin. The amulet coin is an item that, when held by a Pokemon in battle, doubles the amount of prize money at the end of the battle. This is why we avoided every single optional trainer until now. If we had challenged them before, we would only get their normal prize payout, but now that we have the amulet coin equipped, we can make double the money. I got on my bike and began the rampage through the entire previous part of the game, killing every single low-level trainer that I meticulously skipped until now. The only thing I had to be careful of now was equipping the amulet coin to my lead Pokemon before each battle.
Yes, I see the things that they wishing on me. Hope I got some brothers that outlive me. They gon' tell the story was different with me. God's plan, God's plan. I hold back sometimes I won't. I feel good sometimes I don't. I finesse down Western Road. Might go down to G.
After this massacre and selling some items, we finally hit $100,000 with only 2 gym badges. Now that we have the amulet coin, the progression through the game is pretty simple, but still time consuming. I just have to beat every trainer with the amulet coin equipped and pick up every item I can possibly access throughout the rest of the game. I beat the gym, then I beat my rival, then I beat every trainer and collect all the items on the next route, and then I arrive in Solaceon Town. Solaceon Town has the Solaceon Ruins, which has a ton of items you can find by going through this maze, and then we get the HM for Defog. We teach Defog to Staravia and go into the Lost Tower. Once we battle our way to the top, there will be 2 old ladies saying something about how they wish the fog would go away. If you then use Defog, they will give you the spell tag and the cleanse tag, which you can then sell for money. That's why I picked Starly in the beginning of the game, because we can make a profit this way, and Starly can learn Fly, which we'll use later. After going through the next route and beating up some trainers at this cafe, we then go to the Pokemart and sell some items to see that we've reached a net worth of $200,000. After this, I run through a rainy route, get a Staraptor, and then I arrive in Veilstone City. There's a bunch of expensive items you can find in Veilstone, but more importantly, there's another source of infinite money that we're going to have to deal with. The game corner is the casino of the Pokemon world. Like in real life, this casino is rigged. I had to look up how it works, but basically it's pretty random. We can reset using save states to try and get good luck, but sometimes you just can't. Basically, you have to watch the bottom screen for a Pokeball to even have a chance at winning anything. When you do win, sometimes a Clefairy will appear at the bottom, and this is what we want. Once the Clefairy is there, we just keep playing until we get some kind of jackpot. If we get a jackpot, then we enter the bonus round, and Clefairy will give us instructions on how to win more coins if we watch the bottom screen carefully. It can stay around for a random number of bonus rounds, and this is where we're going to make all the profit. Once I got my first Clefairy, I tried using save states to get a jackpot, but it didn't seem to work. There weren't any frames I could hit that could get me a 7, so I just gave up and started mashing random buttons when I got my second Clefairy. Surprisingly, that actually works, and this time the Clefairy stayed around for several rounds. I decided that per the rules of this challenge, I'm only going to use this infinite money source to get the cheapest possible item I can buy, so I just played until I grew my 70 coins into 1,000 coins and could buy a silk scarf, which sells for $50. Okay, so the next part of the game is really just some story progression and some gym battles, and I'm going to pick up the pace until we get to something interesting. I beat the 4th gym and then head to Pastoria City for the 5th gym. Between there's the Valor lakefront area with a lot of items and a cafe with some very rich trainers to battle. I then go to Pastoria and beat the 5th gym. Below that, there's this big optional swamp area that leads to the Pokemon Mansion, where there's a ton of money to be made. In the mansion, you can challenge these maids, and if you beat them in a certain number of turns, you get to challenge the boss of the mansion, who will obviously pay you a lot of money. After this, we can head over to Celestic Town through this foggy route with a lot of trainers. In Celestic Town, we beat Cyrus, pick up some items, and then receive probably the second most important item in the game after the amulet coin, the HM for Surf. The HM Surf allows us to surf on these lakes that are all over the region. You'd be surprised how many areas get unlocked due to this one move and the amount of items that I had to collect. Here's some footage of me getting those. Alright, you get the point. After a few hours of doing this, I arrive in Canalave City with a net worth of $750,000. I head over to Iron Island where I get a few items and battle all the trainers. I also make use of one more infinite source of money, the Versus Seeker, to re-challenge this rich guy outside of the Pokemon Mansion. This brings my balance up to nearly $800,000 upon entering the Canalave City Gym. After defeating Byron, there's some story progression, and I can use the HM strength outside of battle, meaning I can access a new part of Mount Coronet. After collecting the items there, we come outside to one of Gen 4's most infamous but creative and interesting sections, the snow section. You can barely move around in this snow that slows you down, the hail will hurt your Pokemon every turn, and there are tons of hidden items that you can barely see in the blizzard. I think I spent around 2 hours here even with the speed up going through the section and collecting all the items. However, I was motivated. See, my goal is to become a millionaire as soon as possible, and since my net worth was nearing $900,000 upon entering the snow section, I made it my mission to become a millionaire without having to beat the 7th gym battle. So I got to hunting. I found every single item in the confusing blizzard and beat every single trainer. I wasn't sure if I had done it, and I had arrived in Snow Point City full of fear. I picked up a final rare candy and Ultra Ball hidden in the city itself to squeeze every last dollar I possibly could, and then I headed to the Pokemart for the gut-wrenching final count. I come in $61,000 short of the 7-figure mark before I sell my items, and I slowly sell everything I had collected carefully for the last few hours. I wasn't actually sure if I had done it or not, but to my delight, I was able to become a millionaire in Pokemon Platinum with just 6 gym badges. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll try to make a follow-up seeing how much more money you can make in the game after this. See you guys then.